Ambassador Kenny, thank you for joining me in this program. I've been looking forward to asking you a few important questions. About 2 years ago, Secretary Hillary Clinton was here in Bangkok. I interviewed her.
I saw that tape.
You saw that? She declared that America is back in Asia. Now you're here as ambassador to Thailand. What are some of the concrete signs that show that America is back in Asia?
That's a great question because both the Secretary of State and the President feel really strongly about Asia and Asia as really the future for all of us. So as you've seen, Secretary Clinton has been out to the region. Her first foreign trip was to Asia.
Yes.
Thailand was one of the first countries she visited. President Obama has been out to the region and is coming back in November for the East Asian Summit in Indonesia. So I think you've seen a lot of personal visits, Secretary Gates, but you also see a lot of concrete things. We've just appointed a new ambassador to ASEAN, just to ASEAN as the organization, not to each country, but to ASEAN so that we can interact with ASEAN. The disaster exercises we've been doing with ASEAN, our Lower Mekong initiative, where we're working with those countries, of which Thailand is one, and very practical things, weather forecasting, water management.
What about security?
I think we've always been present in Asia on security. But if you want to look at today's issues, look at what the U.S. military is doing in Japan. We're there the minute the earthquake happened. I've been coordinating with many of our other allies. But, that ability to be on the scene, to be present.
But that's the civilian part of the military operations. Talking about the real security issues, the military security issue, America versus China.
Yeah, but it isn't America versus China.
No, it's not.
And I think that's a popular misconception. Now, there's a healthy economic competition with everyone with China.
Right.
But, China's economic growth has been phenomenal for all of us. They have really brought many of us up, more jobs around the world, more trade around the world. So we don't view it as a competition except for a healthy competition in terms of economics. China's a really important relationship for us.
But Secretary Hillary Clinton pointed to the South China Sea conflicts. And then the American government seems to be quite worried that China is going to act like a big brother trying to bully the smaller countries and America would not stand by.
I think that might be a little bit dramatic,
right?
But I think we've been really clear in where we disagree with China, some human rights issues, some of the disputed territories. I mean, what we've said on the South China Sea is we think they're very disputed claims, as you know. I think there's 6 different countries.
Yes.
That they should solve that peacefully, and no one country should attempt to threaten the others as a way to do that. So we've been very clear. I mean, that's the kind of relationship I think we've got now with China, that we're able to talk about issues.
But I thought when the American government under Obama said that we are back in Asia, my first thought would be that the United States want to counter the Chinese influence in Asia. No? Why did you come back?
I think you got that wrong. Sorry.
Okay.
No, that wasn't very diplomatic, was it?
That's okay.
No, the idea was that really perhaps in previous years, we just hadn't been as attentive to Asian countries, hadn't visited them as often, hadn't been at their big meetings. And if you
Why do you think was the reason?
I don't really know. I
you
can't
don't want
speak to that.
Do you want to comment on the previous administration?
No, I don't.
No.
Let's talk about now.
Yeah, but something went wrong, right, with the American policy in Asia?
Well, I think the answer was we weren't engaging enough. And across Asia, it's not only a huge population center, but you look at the economic growth. The rates across Asia, it's really clear that if you're going to be engaging today in the world's economy, you have to be in Asia. And I think American business has known that for years. And it maybe just took the rest of us a while to catch up and realize we need to have an ambassador to ASEAN so that we can interact with ASEAN. We need to join the East Asia Summit. There are groupings that we need to be present and active in. And I think that's a great sign for all of us. I mean, I think the more we're present and back, and that more Asian countries are talking to us, the world has become smaller.
I know. With that in mind, what is your priority in Thailand?
It's hard to describe in so many words, but let me try to give you a Twitter soundbite.
Okay.
My real priority is to take a very strong friendship. We've been friends with Thailand for 178
yes,
years.
yes.
But I want to make that relevant for the future. You know, you and I know that this is a good friendship
Yes.
and why it's been helpful to us. But I'd like the next generation. And so it's what we call now the Thai-U.S. Creative Partnership.
You call it creative partnership.
The idea that we can
It
link-
wasn't very creative before, right?
Well, you know, it's a term, but an idea that we're going to go beyond governments and that we will link up, you know, educators and innovators and creative talents and sort of move both of our relationships toward the future.
But what are some specifics that you're working on?
Well, one is this U.S.-Thai Creative Partnership, where we're going to link up our educators. We actually did that earlier this week. One of the areas we're looking up is linking up our businesses in animation.
Yes.
There's a great animation industry developing in Thailand. We have some expertise. They do too. You know, we could create jobs for both of our citizens and some pretty amazing products. So all of those kinds of issues, we've got a group of students here now that are sharing with their American counterparts dance. I'm going to their concert.
Yeah.
You know, so the idea of sort of building our creative talents together.
These are private sectors.
What we and the governments, and it's the Thai government and the American government, we're going to try to use our power to link them up.
What are some of the difficulties that you're facing trying to solve Thai-American issues, economic issues? We used to have a lot of problem with the special dumping tax.
Well, there are always
GSP. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There are always sort of economic issues, although they aren't really very great with Thailand. With Thailand, there's a lot of American business here, and they're happy. They're very pleased to be here. I visited Western Digital.
Yeah.
You're a tech guy.
Yes.
They hire 40,000 Thai there. You know, it's a tremendous, tremendous facility. I loved visiting them. They were amazing. But again, we're always looking for good opportunities to trade back and forth. Intellectual property remains a little bit of a problem.
It is still a problem. You've been working on it for years and years.
We have been working on it for
Yes.
years. As someone in the industry,
Yeah.
you know, you want your products protected and
Sure.
not pirated. I think the problem is all of the businesses recognize this, governments recognize it. You have a lot of clever people out there who
Yes,
are
yes.
pretty ready to steal movies and steal something someone else created. So it's one of the issues we're actually hoping to work on as we work on issues like animation. We don't want something that's created here in Thailand to be pirated.
Trade?
Trade is good. Trade can be better.
Yes.
And one of the things I'd like to do, and I can't tell you I know where yet, is look at how can we enhance that trade. Are there more things we should be buying from Thailand or trading with Thailand? Are there more things Thailand should be trading with us? But we have economies that are pretty complementary. You know, we're not really competing in terms of products. So I think that there is a lot more we could do back.
So you have no problems working here in Thailand?
Well, I wish I spoke better Thai. But
You're learning.
I am learning, but I'm frustrated. I would like to be better already.
What is the biggest challenge then for you, apart from learning Thai?
Learning Thai.
What is the biggest challenge as a professional diplomat?
As a professional diplomat, well, right now I think my challenge is just getting to understand Thailand because it's so big and so diverse.
You
and
did your
so
homework before you came.
I did a lot of homework, but
Yes.
you and I both know that reading about it and
Yes.
experiencing is not exactly the same.
Do you think you understand Thai politics now?
Oh no.
The red shirts and
They're
yellow
complicated.
shirts, all these
Well,
divisiveness.
they're multicolored shirts,
Yeah.
and I'm sure a
Do
lot
you-
of people in between and all around and other sides. And I know, you know, there are lots of politicians talking about preparing for elections.
Yes.
And, I'm watching all of that with interest and getting to know, I hope. I mean, as part of my job, I'll be getting out to meet with different party leaders and talk to them, learn about them.
Are you more careful now in writing your cables after the WikiLeaks thing?
Wiki-
How do you adjust to the WikiLeaks thing as a diplomat? You know, you're not too sure that your cables will be intercepted, will be stolen one of these days. So are you writing a different kind of report?
You know, the truthful matter is cables are just a part of what we do. So they're raw information, but there's also a lot of emailing in today's world, a lot of phone calls.
Well, your
So
emails could be hacked. They could steal your emails.
you have to communicate somehow. Your phone conversations can be intercepted. Who knows?
So you still do
but,
it.
but I think we are still very interested in Thailand.
Yes.
And interested in telling people back in America about Thailand. You know, the WikiLeaks thing is frustrating.
Yes.
Because, you know, a lot of people talk about its freedom of information, but it actually isn't. It's really a violation of privacy. What if I stole your iPhone?
Yeah.
And I published all your email messages?
I wouldn't like it.
And that's a little bit, to me, what the WikiLeaks is.
But it does affect the way you communicate with the State Department or among diplomats.
We're really communicating in all the various ways. We use cables sometimes. Sometimes we
Less
send
now.
emails.
You use cables
Well,
less now.
I think we've always used cables a little bit less, or in recent years, because the email is so easy.
Yes.
And it's certainly not policy in any sense.
No.
The Secretary of State,
No.
what we send back as information and ideas and thoughts or it's really raw information.
And you write less gossips now.
I don't think we really write much gossip in truth.
No, some of the cables that were
but remember,
leaked.
I'm not confirming that WikiLeaks is the truth in any way. I really don't know. Whether
But so it has not changed the way you work?
Not
WikiLeaks.
so much.
No?
What's really changed the way we work is really just the passage of time. Remember, cables were used years ago when everybody didn't have a BlackBerry and a computer, and so I think the passage of time has changed some of that.
You find some people are more reluctant to talk to you?
So far, people have been very good about talking to me.
Yeah.
And
I mean, because of the WikiLeaks, they might be reluctant to talk to you or to disclose anything to you.
I hope not. And so far, people have been very generous in giving me their time and talking to me about Thailand and helping me understand. So I hope that people do continue to talk to us. We certainly want to continue to talk to them.
And the State Department has not come up with any new policy of how you communicate with State Department or among diplomats?
I'm not going to talk to you about where our technology is or what we're doing, but I will say
you feel safer now.
Yes, we're being careful, very careful with our technology.
And you're sure that none of the secrets that the Thai government gives you will be leaked?
I sincerely hope not. But of course, I don't know to what extent they're giving me secrets. Secrets are secrets because other people don't know them.
Sure.